Today, I'm going to be sharing with you some information that no one else is going to tell you when buying a home in Palm Springs, California. Okay, and you might be saying, "Tommy, you're a realtor. Don't you want people to like buy and sell in Palm Springs?" Well, I do, but I also don't want you to make a decision that might not be the best for you and your family. So let's cover some of these different items that come up frequently when I'm working with buyers that are trying to, move out here. And these are some of the most commonly asked questions. Number one, allergies. Okay, so the desert. Okay, something you might not know is there's a lot of dust. Okay, and there's a lot of wind sometimes seasonally, right? Usually when it goes from like the colder to the hotter months, or the hotter months to the colder months, it gets pretty windy. And I had someone call me just a few months ago and they said, "Look, I really can't do dust. I'm like deathly allergic to dust. Does it get windy there?" And I said, I had to say, yeah, to be honest, it does get windy here. And I've seen people, my kids included, even my wife who has asthma, or she's starting to develop asthma just from being out here. Now she grew up here and she just has to take Zyrtec a lot. But, if you're prone to allergies, here are a few things that I would recommend. One, not buying in the windier areas, closer to the freeway, okay? Because the wind, let me show you. The wind comes through this pass right here by Whitewater, okay? We live in a valley, so we're surrounded by mountains. So right here, Cabazon, Whitewater, the wind really whips in. North Palm Springs, North Cathedral City, and so on. If you're any of these north areas, especially if you're right by the freeway, it's going to be a little windier and that might upset your allergies. Now, the second thing with allergies, okay, I recommend not buying in a country club. Here's Mission Hills and Rancho Mirage. I recommend not buying in a country club on a golf course if you have bad allergies. Because yes, these communities are beautiful, but they're constantly, these gardeners, it's like a crew of gardeners all day and all night planting, new flowers, reseeding the golf course. All of this is just in the community, all the pollen, all that's in the air. And I've seen people who have bad allergies. If you buy on the golf course, that's no bueno. Okay. That's no good. So stay away from the golf courses. I recommend, being in a nice non-gated area in the desert, somewhere far away from golf courses and, somewhere far away from the freeway. And that should help a little bit curb your allergies. Now, the next thing I'm going to share with you, no realtor will want to tell you, but okay, this is the real facts. Okay. A lot of these communities out here, they have fruit trees, and fruit trees, yes, they're beautiful. Who doesn't want to see a grapefruit in your backyard, or, an orange or a lemon tree? But if you have fruit trees, sometimes it attracts a certain kind of animal, a rat, okay, ratatouilles, okay. We have them out here in the desert, all right. And if you have fruit trees, or you live in a community with a lot of fruit trees, cough, Hidden Palms and Palm Desert, okay, we lived there briefly. You could get a lot of rats in the community because the rats just love the fruit that's not picked, and it's just sitting in the grass for days on end. And it's like a little banquet for them just to roll up and take a seat and munch on a grapefruit. So it's not uncommon to have rats in the desert. So I would just say, if you have fruit trees, make sure your gardener takes care of them and picks up the fruit, or you might have a little issue on your hands. And that brings me to my next conclusion. Get a good, pest control company. There's a lot of them, like, Rudy's Pest Control. We use them for our house. You need a pest person just to even spray on the outside of your house, because they're not like cockroaches. Okay. You're probably thinking, man, I don't want to move to this place. I told you, I'm an honest guy, come here, if you want, but it's good for you to know this information. We don't get cockroaches, but they're like a kind of beetle. Okay. And they come from the palm trees. And I always see this: if homes are vacant for a long time and they're sitting on the market and they don't have a pest control company, there will be these little dead critters inside the house. And they're not a pretty sight, or like grasshoppers in the house or whatever. So just make sure you get regular, like routine kind of spraying on the outside, inside the house, whatever. I know they have safer chemicals, or ones that are chemical free if possible, like natural methods, but just look into that, because I recommend, if you have a house out here in the desert, you're definitely going to want to spray for bugs. And look, we spray the exterior of our house, when the kids aren't there. it dries, and we don't have any problems with bugs on our house. Okay, none of that, we're good to go. So it is controllable. It's not like it's like some war. But if you just don't know this knowledge and just don't have any idea about this, that this even exists, then you're gonna just like have an issue when you shouldn't have an issue. Okay, so that's the second thing. Okay, now the next thing you need to know about, I have my little list over here, is leased land versus fee simple. Okay, so leased land is where you don't own the land. Okay, typically you could find these homes 20-30% less. I've already other videos on my channel getting more into leased land. What you should know, most of the leased land is going to be in Palm Springs and also Rancho Mirage. Agua Caliente, Band of Indians, they own a ton of land in Palm Springs and Rancho Mirage. You see, that's where they have their casinos. Okay, so typically, lease land could be $300-500 a month, and the leases could be, 70, 100 years in length. But, if you don't want to deal with lease land, you could find places in Palm Springs and Rancho Mirage that don't have it, or you just go to Palm Desert, La Quinta, I said Rancho Mirage, Indian Wells, and there's no lease land altogether. So that's easy to figure out. So I know that could be overwhelming for a lot of people who are watching sometimes. They're like, lease land, be simple land. And it can be really confusing, especially if you have an HOA of $700 a month and then lease land $500 a month. That starts turning into a mortgage, right? And by the way, if you're looking to move out here, my contact information's down below. I have people calling me every day to buy or sell from YouTube. So don't be shy. I don't bite. I thought of the Vermin issue when I said that, but I don't bite. So please reach out to me. So that leads me into, that was a good segue in between the mini commercial into HOAs. Now, just know this. There are a lot of country clubs in the desert, gated communities, right? And the HOAs can vary from $100 to $200 a month for maybe just a gated community, and then they take care of the common areas, or it could go up to $1,500 a month, depending on what the community might offer. Now, in the cities like Rancho Mirage or Indian Wells, they're higher price per square foot cities, they're more expensive. HOAs they're more expensive there. Then you go into areas like Palm Desert, Indio, La Quinta, you could find more affordable HOAs. So there's an HOA for everyone, or you could avoid them altogether because there are a lot of non-gated areas. Now, one thing I would just say about HOAs, if you're buying in a country club with a golf course, see, is the golf course privately owned? Okay, is the golf course owned by the members? Because, some of the golf courses are struggling out here. You see Rancho Mirage Country Club, they sold that golf course and they're like looking to develop it into hotels. And Palm Desert Country Club, in Palm Desert, that golf course was sold off to Canadians, and we love our Canadians, by the way. And they were looking to like build some kind of condos or hotels on that golf course. So, if you're in a golf course, you don't want to buy a home with this beautiful, view of the fairway, and then they build, a condo behind your house. So it's important just to make sure the overall health of the community in the golf course. The last thing I want to touch on is short-term rentals. Now that you could see here right on this map, short-term rentals for the most part have been banned in a lot of places in the valley. So you see smartly regulated cities like Palm Springs, Desert Hot Springs, Bermuda Dunes, and Indio, they're allowing it, all right, with some regulations. You see Frozen, Idlewild, Temecula, La Quinta, all right? Frozen, right? Banned short-term rentals in this green, Cathedral City, Palm Desert, and Indian Wells. Banned completely, Rancho Mirage, okay? So what I would have to say about this is if you're looking for a home in a short-term rental area, stick to Palm Springs, Desert Hot Springs, and Indio and Bermuda Dunes, okay? That makes it really easy for you. Now, Indio and Desert Hot Springs and Bermuda Dunes, they're going to have less restrictions than a place like Palm Springs that has recently introduced neighborhood caps of 20%. Once that neighborhood's past 20%, then you have to get on a waiting list to be able to get a permit. So they only allow a certain amount of homes in each neighborhood in Palm Springs to be doing short-term rentals. Also, they have nightly stays, a limit throughout the year of how many stays you could do in Palm Springs. These other cities, you don't have to deal with that. But Palm Springs is a hot spot, right? So people will still buy in Palm Springs knowing that there's a little more regulations for short-term rentals, but you could still make a healthy profit. So this would be a good map. Just take a screenshot, whatever you'd like to do, or you could reach out to me with more of your questions, because you can find in Palm Desert places like Monterey Country Club. I recently helped someone buy in there. Hope you're watching. It was a good transaction. And they could do short-term rentals in there. Desert Falls Country Club, some places in South Palm Desert, around El Paseo, you could do short-term rentals, La Quinta, frozen, but there are some places like PGA West Signature, in Indian Wells, you can't do it, but you could actually do it during the tennis tournament event for, I think, a week the city allows you. So there's some workarounds and stuff. So I just want to tell you, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Contact information is below. If you'd like to buy or sell in the desert, please don't be shy. Reach out to me. I'll talk to you soon, and have a great day.